Hi, it's Carolyn from True Crime Chat with Mommy Ramblings, and I'm here with an update in the Summer Wells case. It's a month later. She disappeared on June 15th, and her father, Don, says he doesn't expect to see his daughter alive, and after almost 1,000 tips, investigators are frustrated. So let's see what's going on here, and we're also going to look a little deeper into the disappearance. It is unrelated as of now, of Candace's sister, Summer's mother's sister, back in 2009. So Summer Wells went missing from June 15th from her house in Rogersville, Tennessee. From the start, the details have been confusing at best. On Monday, Summer's father, Don, gave a statement to the Kingsport Times-News that said he didn't expect to see his daughter alive. And I quote him saying, "We've had several people sneaking around there, but we've had them sneaking around at night. We've never had somebody up there at 5:30 in the afternoon that we know of." Now he's speaking about their 11-acre property on Ben Hill Road. Again, he says they didn't come up the driveway. They came up a dog trail from the woods. The police canine dog that was used, that's where the scent took them down through the woods, not the driveway. At Ben Hill Road is where the dog scent ended, end quote. Authorities are still looking for a possible witness who was seen on Ben Hill Road in Rogersville the day that Summer went missing. The person is believed to have been driving a late model 1990s maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full-size ladder rack and white buckets in the truck bed. One thing Summer's disappearance is doing is making lawmakers and county leaders take a long, hard look at how they can work to improve, to be better prepared if a situation like this should happen again. And law enforcement is also pushing back against reports that the massive but essentially fruitless search for Summer has placed a burden on the sheriff's office and their budget reserves. Hawkins County Commissioner John Roach says that is a misconception. And I quote him saying, "I wouldn't support ending a search with credible leads if we had them because of a financial shortfall. But that's not part of that conversation at all." Unquote. Now, we know that Don Wells and Candace Bly, Summer's parents, are not strangers to the law. Don has been convicted of multiple violent felonies. He was incarcerated in prison after being convicted on charges related to drugs and burglaries in Arkansas, Texas, and Utah. He's committed multiple parole violations in the late 90s and early 2000s. Now, Candace Bly also has that criminal record, but hers is in Wisconsin, where she pled guilty to misdemeanor domestic abuse charges back in 2003. Now, when he was asked, also by the Kingsport Times in an interview, about his criminal past, I quote Don as saying, "I found God in prison. I started studying the Bible intently as I wanted to change." However, Don had another brush with the law in the fall of 2020. Candace accused him of domestic assault. Sheriff's deputies showed up and found Don allegedly drunk driving on his own driveway. According to this criminal complaint, the deputies responded to the couple's home where they found Don Wells pulling up the driveway where he reeked of alcohol, and he had a pistol in the glove box, which he is not allowed to possess. A judge granted Candace and the children an order of protection after Candace wrote that, and I quote, "He drinks and throws things. I'm afraid of being hurt. He is abusive physically and mentally towards me. I am afraid for my children and myself. My mother fears he is going to hurt her because she is staying in her camper on the property." Despite that, Candace, according to court records, dropped those charges less than a week later, and the two appeared to have reconciled. Regarding the disappearance of Summer, Candace has said that she left Summer with her three brothers, Summer's three brothers, older brothers, but young children, in the kitchen for about 2 minutes. And when she returned, she said Summer was gone. I quote her saying, "I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said she went downstairs. But Summer wasn't there, and no one's seen her since." To go further into this story, Candace said that herself, her mother, who lives on the property in that camper, and Summer were out planting flowers. Candace said that Summer went inside, and that's, well, the last time that Summer was seen going into that house. In addition to Summer's 3 young brothers, Don Wells has an adult son also named Donald Wells. Now, he's had his own troubles with the law, convicted of child sex crimes in Utah, and he's a registered sex offender. He doesn't live in Tennessee. He's not been near the property, according to investigators. And Don Wells said in his Kingsport Times interview that his son was in Utah at the time Summer disappeared. Candace is no stranger to missing family members. Her own sister, Rose Marie Bly, went missing August 21st of 2009. She disappeared from her home in St. Croix Falls, back in Wisconsin, en route to Cushing, Wisconsin, which is a distance of 5 miles. Rose was the mother of 2 young children, ages 1 and 2 at the time. She was in a tumultuous new marriage to a man named Christopher Larson, who she wed February of 2009. Now, her husband, Christopher, told investigators that his wife left to go have drinks with her cousin. However, Rose's cousin knew of no such plans. Christopher was the last person to see her, and Rose was driving a white 2001 Pontiac Grand Am and allegedly drove off for the 5-mile journey to a bar in Cushing at about 7:30 p.m. Her car was recovered 5 days later in Grantsburg, Wisconsin, in a parking lot typically used by truck drivers to park their tractor trailers. The parking lot is approximately 30 miles from her home and 15 miles from Cushing. The last reported call she made was to her husband, Christopher, allegedly to let him know that she would be home around midnight. Christopher filed for divorce within 3 weeks of the date that Rose went missing. He also requested a court order that should Rose return, she could not get custody of the children. 2 months before Rose went missing, Christopher petitioned for divorce, but Rose apparently talked him out of it. Around that time, there was a domestic violence situation that did occur. Christopher accused Rose of slapping him, and she said Christopher put her in a headlock and slammed her to the ground. Rose entered a plea of not guilty to the misdemeanor domestic abuse charge in July of 2009, but due to her disappearance, it has never been resolved. Christopher Larson was granted sole custody of their 2 little girls in 2010. Investigators have conducted numerous interviews of Rose's husband, her friends, family, acquaintances, but did not find any unusual patterns in her life prior to her going missing. Rose was said to be a caring mother who always put her children first. And I quote investigator Pete Johnson saying, "I think I've heard from just about everybody we talked to who shared the initial investigation with a reporter and said that nobody believes that she would take off and leave her kids." Rose loved horseback riding, and about a week before she went missing, she went out on a horseback ride. She suffered a fall that day, and for the next several days she complained to her mother, Candace Harrier, that she was having headaches. Her mother told her to go to the doctor. And after Rose went missing, her mother, Candace, has been worried that her daughter may have had a more serious head injury, one that caused her to become confused and maybe get lost. There's no medical evidence that Rose was mentally impaired by that injury, and in the years since, it seems very unlikely that that injury played a role in her disappearance. Other than her vehicle being in that lot, nothing really seemed concerning or unusual. The DNA samples from the car that were taken provided nothing definitive to lead to a suspect or an arrest, and they were never shared with the public. A week after Rose went missing, Christopher Larson, her husband, took a polygraph and passed it, and according to the authorities, he is not a suspect in her disappearance. He reported her missing. He has no criminal history. Christopher Larson has continued to live and work in the community and raise the 2 girls. Now, there was a prayer vigil held by members of the Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist Church earlier this week. They gathered together in prayer for 5-year-old Summer Wells. Pastor David Ryder spoke on her lively personality, and I quote, "A wonderful little girl, 5 years old, full of life, a free spirit. In our church, she didn't want to sit still. She was so curious, running around, trying to figure things out, and just enjoy the worship service." Summer's disappearance has affected people states away. Joseph Broadwater traveled from Virginia to attend the vigil, and I quote him saying, "We believe that there's hope." And that's one thing we always want to cling to, especially as Christians, is that we have this hope. Summer's mother, Candace Bly, attended the event as well. When she was asked how she was handling the situation, she told WVLT News that she was hanging in there and that her boys have been keeping her busy. Summer's Sabbath teacher, Robin Lane, had the girl in her class for several years, and she spoke about how Summer was in class. And I quote her saying, "There were times where I found it hard to teach because she had her arms around me all the time, and there were times I'd get frustrated with it because it's like, I need to have my hands. I need to do my job, as teaching." And she just wanted love so much, and I treasured that. I absolutely treasured that, and I'd do anything to have her arms around my neck again. I really would. I just love her so much, and she just had so much love to give. The community members are full of hope that Summer will return. This is just one more miracle. I mean, it's not too much to ask of God. God can do this. He's got this. We just have to believe, end quote. Residents near the Ben Hill Road area had been asked to check their security, trail cameras, anything for clues. Summer is about 3 feet tall. She weighs about 40 pounds. Last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt. She may have been barefoot. She has closely cropped blonde hair and blue eyes, and if anyone has any information relating to her disappearance, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Investigators say the circumstances surrounding her disappearance have yet to be determined, but that they are looking into all possibilities, and that is all we have now, a month after Summer's gone missing. Thank you for watching, and prayers that she is found. Take care, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.